Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're taking a hard look at a silent psychological trap, one that captures almost everyone the very moment their income starts to rise. And look, it doesn't matter if you're an engineer, a doctor, a corporate executive, or some brilliant entrepreneur. This trap, it doesn't care how smart you are, it doesn't care if your budget-tracking spreadsheet skills are literally Olympic level. We're going to completely dismantle this invisible system today so it never quietly robs you of your wealth ever again.
Picture this for a second. Think about a time when you got the raise. You finally hit that magical salary number you'd always dreamed about, right? And for exactly 3 weeks, life felt totally different. You felt victorious. But then, something kind of strange happened. The number in your bank account was definitely bigger, but that feeling of victory, it just didn't last. The anxiety crept back in, the financial stress came back, that lingering thought of, man, I just need a little bit more, completely returned. You probably started wondering, what is wrong with me? Well, the good news is, absolutely nothing is wrong with you.
But there is something very wrong with this system running silently in the background of your mind. It's a psychological trap called lifestyle expansion. You've probably heard it called lifestyle creep. Basically, it's this automatic, almost entirely unconscious tendency for your spending to rise in direct proportion to your income. It just naturally and gradually absorbs your new wealth without you even noticing it's happening.
Section 1. The Rule of Arion. A case study in income versus lifestyle.
Okay, let's put a human face to this silent wealth killer by walking through Aryan's career. At age 22, Aryan is making $30,000 a year. He shares a flat, cooks at home, takes public transit. Money's tight for sure, but he manages. Now, fast forward to age 28. Aryan is now making $70,000. He's got his own apartment, a car, and he's eating out like 4 times a week. His weekend brunches now cost what his old weekly grocery run used to cost, and he's still somehow hungry afterward. Fast forward again to age 34. Aryan is pulling in $130,000 a year. He's upgraded the apartment, the car is newer, he's taking international holidays, and literally a single item in his wardrobe costs more than his old monthly rent used to. You see what's happening? His lifestyle has organically and invisibly scaled up with his salary at every single stage of his life.
Now, what's really fascinating about Aryan's timeline is the missing metric here. It begs this absolutely critical question. Aryan's income has more than quadrupled since he was 22. So at each of these new higher income levels, how much is Aryan actually saving?
The exact same percentage. His wealth has not quadrupled. His lifestyle has. And the crazy thing is, Aryan is not an exception to the rule. Aryan is the rule. When you earn more, you don't sit down at your kitchen table and consciously decide, you know what, I'm going to spend every single extra dollar I make. No, it just happens invisibly. The old flat starts to feel insufficient because, well, you deserve better. That budget restaurant feels uncomfortable because your social circle shifted. Every single lifestyle upgrade feels entirely justified and earned. And hey, you worked hard for it. But justification is not the same thing as wisdom.
Section 2. The 3 engines of inflation. The hidden psychology of spending.
We have to name these 3 deeply wired engines if we actually want to fight them. Engine number 1 is hedonic adaptation. Our brains are basically absolute masters at adaptation. Whatever becomes your new normal quickly stops producing happiness. Think about the first time you flew business class. It felt like an extraordinary luxury, right? The 10th time, you barely even noticed it. That first week in your new apartment felt like an absolute dream, but by month 3, it was just home. Your brain relentlessly neutralizes pleasure by turning it into the new baseline floor. So you end up needing another upgrade just to feel the exact same level of satisfaction. You're basically running on a treadmill. You're going faster and faster and faster, but you're getting absolutely nowhere.
Engine number 2 is social comparison. Think of this as the invisible tax on your ambition. We humans are biologically wired to measure ourselves against others. It's not a flaw, it's just biology. Historically, you only compared yourself to a small tribe of maybe 150 people. But today, your comparison group is everyone you follow online, everyone you work with, and every highly curated highlight reel you scroll past at 11 p.m. When Aryan started earning more, his social circle shifted. He stopped comparing himself to people making $30,000 and naturally started comparing himself to people making $200,000. He saw their cars, their holidays, their fancy kitchens, and your brain automatically interprets that gap as a deficiency that needs to be fixed immediately with spending.
And then there's engine number 3, identity attachment, which is honestly the most subtle and powerful of them all. Over time, your lifestyle stops being just what you have, and it morphs into who you are. That premium gym membership isn't just a place to go exercise anymore. It's a signal of the kind of person you've become. That expensive neighborhood is quite literally your identity made physical. And this is exactly why high earners strongly resist adjusting their spending, because downgrading doesn't just feel like a budget cut, it feels like an existential loss of self. You aren't just protecting a budget anymore, you are fiercely protecting your identity.
Section 3. The moving finish line. Why enough never feels like enough.
This data brilliantly illustrates why the finish line for wealth is a feeling, not a math equation. Look at the massive gap between what people earn and what they think they actually need. Studies consistently show that people earning what they once considered to be extraordinary money still feel like they aren't quite there yet. The threshold for feeling comfortable just constantly moves out of reach. If you ask someone earning $50,000 what they need to feel financially secure, they'll say $100,000. Ask someone earning $100,000, they say $200,000. Ask the person making $200,000, and I guarantee you they'll tell you they need $500,000. Lifestyle expansion ensures that the feeling of enough always stays just out of reach. People spend their entire careers chasing a freedom they are simultaneously spending into impossibility.
Section 4. The real cost. Person A versus person B. Let's move to the hard math to see the life-defining difference this makes over a 20-year career. Imagine two people with the exact same starting salary and the exact same income growth. Person A allows lifestyle inflation to consume every single raise. They consistently save about 5%. Now, they have a beautiful, luxurious lifestyle for sure, but almost no real assets. They have incredibly high income dependency. They're scrambling, they're stressed, they are literally one job loss away from a total crisis. Now look at person B. Every time their income rises, they deliberately contain the creep. They split the increase. 50% goes to a lifestyle upgrade, and the other 50% goes straight into investments. They're saving 20 to 30%. Person B has a great lifestyle too, sure, but they also have a growing portfolio. They have a deep financial cushion. They have peace of mind, and they have the ultimate prize, leverage over their own time. The variable here wasn't talent, and it wasn't luck. It was entirely about what they did with the gap between their income and their lifestyle.
So here is a massive reframe for you. Most people think that reward for earning more is simply spending more. But listen to this. The real reward for earning more is buying back your time, your options, and your freedom. Compounding capital buys you psychological security and runway. A newer car? It's a nice daily luxury, but the ability to say no to a toxic job, to take a massive career risk, or to weather an economic storm without panicking, that is an entirely different category of wealth. Experiences fade and objects depreciate, but financial runway gives you an unshakable ground beneath your feet.
Section 5. Architecture over willpower. Escaping the trap.
The crucial point here is that you simply cannot fight infinite lifestyle pressure with finite willpower. You just can't. You have to fight it with architecture. Here's how you do it. Step 1. Automate your investments. When a raise arrives, redirect a meaningful portion into investments before your brain even has a chance to recalibrate what normal spending looks like. Because what your lifestyle never receives, it never misses. Step 2. Ask why before upgrading. Are you buying this thing because it genuinely improves your daily life, or just because it signals to others who you want them to think you are? Step 3. Defend your minimum floor aggressively. Decide the absolute minimum lifestyle you genuinely need to feel secure, and protect it. Everything above that is a choice, not a need. And step 4, stop measuring your wealth by your salary. Start tracking your assets minus your liabilities. It completely forces your psychology to shift from how much I earn to how much I am actually building.
I really want you to take this to heart. Feeling rich was never about the number on your payslip. Feeling rich is waking up on a Monday morning and truly knowing that you are not financially trapped. The people who genuinely feel wealthy are rarely the ones with the most expensive, flashy lives. They're the ones who stopped trying to look wealthy and quietly became it by fiercely building and protecting that gap between what they earn and what they spend. So, the raise will come again. That's inevitable. But the real question is, what are you going to do in the first 30 days after it arrives? That one single decision, repeated across the span of a career, is the entire difference between just looking rich and actually being free. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Think carefully about your next 30 days, and I'll catch you next time.